Hi viewers, and welcome to a whole new episode of Inspirational Journeys. I love exercise. It just makes me feel happy, as simple as that. It's scientifically proven that exercise does wonders for the body, for the mind and soul as well. Exercise has been my saving soldier. No doubt that partnering with someone with whom you trust your fitness journey is core to achieving your goals. Each of us deserves a life of wellness. It's never too late to try something new, to set a goal, to reach out for help. Whatever your wishes are, trust that there will be someone willing and able to extend a hand. Meet Pete Asadourian. His valuable insights and overall knowledge on weight training has had a positive impact on my personal development. He's someone I can count on and trust that he has the best interests at hand. He knows very well what is to walk the walk, and he's as motivational as it gets. Join me in welcoming Pete to Inspirational Journeys. Pete Asadourian, an avant-garde fitness personal trainer. With over 20 years of experience as a coach in exercise and nutrition, Pete is the professional to go to for stepping into the next level of fitness grandeur. He's the entrepreneur and owner behind Future Fitness Pro, an interesting platform designed to heighten the capabilities of any athlete to its greatest potential. Yet Pete's motivational story is what is most remarkable. Dreaming on being a professional athlete himself, and while navigating the ups and downs of the play game, Pete found in his journey the calling for becoming a true mentor. Sooner than later, his special gift for guiding others into achieving a better version of themselves has made him stand out among his peers. He's dedicated much of his career to mentoring younger athletes that trust his knowledge and his instincts on proper skills development and sports performance efficiency. His dimensional knowledge on weight training, sport conditioning, approachable and charismatic personality have had tremendous impact on the lives of those that have come across his training. He's the Inspire coach, driven by the desire to motivate and transform. And under his belt of recognitions, the successful careers of professional hockey players like Ron Hansen from Toronto Maple Leafs and Nick Bonino on the Nashville Predators. Pete is the A-game for finding purpose at the center of his career. Pete, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is our pleasure to have you, and I know you have a busy schedule.
Yep.
So being here, I know you took some time to spend and, tell us about your story.
Yeah, so it's great to be here, first of all, and you certainly are an inspiration to me, Marisol,
thank you.
with your fitness and what you've gone through and stuff. But, it's been 20 years, and, it's been a nice run for myself, my staff, and it's just been the people I've met and everything. The whole story started probably, again, 20 years ago. I was a high school basketball coach. I had one of my mentors, John Reiser, I started coaching with him. Freshman, I volunteered actually over at Rockville High School with him. And he said, "Hey Pete, why don't you bring these guys in a weight room and start doing some stuff with them?" And then, one thing led to another, and I started Future Fitness. That's kind of the short end of it. I'm sure we'll get to more, but that's kind of how it all began.
We want to hear it all. And
yeah.
Where it all began?
So yeah, it began right here in Rocky Hill. My roots. I'm born and raised here, and I started my gym, the Future Fitness, actually at the Tennis and Fitness Center in Elm Street, and then from there I went to the West Side Athletic Club, which is now no longer here, and just really built up my business there. There was one individual, Colin McDonald. Colin's father used to play for the Hartford Whalers, and I approached Jerry one day and said, "Hey, let me train your son for free." And then one thing led to another. I did a great job. He was a second-round draft pick to the Edmonton Oilers. And then from there, they came. Like Ron Hainsey came, and then all the other guys. So, I mean, at one point, we had, if you played pro hockey, you were working out with us. And, for me, I know you made mention in the intro, it was my dream to be a pro athlete. And I think it's everyone's dream to kind of be a pro. Every young male, female, youngster playing sports, of course, they want to play for UConn if they're playing basketball for Gino, and they want to. Those are awesome goals. And I think again, every kid has those goals, and those are mine. I wanted something to do with it, and I think I'm the type of person where, like, if I put my mind to something, I want to do it, and I'm just driven, and I'm not going to stop. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to do, but. I just pushed, and I told myself I wanted to be in the realm of professional athletes, and that's kind of how it started. And then from the West Side Athletic Club, I went to another ice rink. From there, I went over to the Newington Ice Rink, and where I'm still there. And a year ago, September, I had an opportunity to open up at ATI, Athlete Training Institute, and that's in Cromwell. And the guys there are awesome. Work with Kevin Rival and Chris Darby, and they've been phenomenal as far as what they've been able to offer me as far as facility-wise and being able to grow my business in the manner I want. And I tell people, like, this is the graduation, if you will. This is what I've kind of been working for over the 20 years, to have a facility such as the one I'm in now in Cromwell. It's 4,000 square feet versus other facilities that have been working out. Sure. It's like 1,000 square feet.
Sure.
And so,
so let's go back in time. When you first started, did you always knew that you wanted to be a coach, or was it something that came out of pure luck or experiences in life that just took you to that area of work?
Yeah, so it's funny you say it. In ninth grade, I started coaching Little League baseball. It was like Farm League. It wasn't even Little League. Farm League baseball, T-ball. I didn't have any kids or anything, obviously, at that age. So I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to, give something back to the community, for no other reason but just to be involved. And I thought it was cool. Like, hey, man, I'm a coach. I'm a freshman in high school, and I'm coaching these kids. So baseball led to basketball, and then I stayed all through high school. And then I met John Reiser, who was my gym teacher. And then he knew I was coaching, and that's when the offer became. But, it's been a good ride, and, that's kind of how I got into the whole coaching of it. And ever since high school, went right through high school, and then right after high school, I started coaching. And basketball, it is on the high school level. And as I was developing my coaching career in basketball, I developed Future Fitness. And
you coach young athletes. In its majority. So did anything in particular make you focus on children?
Well, I think it was, I think every business needs a niche. And, I don't call myself a businessman. I guess I am.
Well,
but,
you are.
I know, but, it's just, but I think I needed a niche. I didn't want to be the personal trainer, that just a stereotypical personal trainer. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but again, I wanted to create my own niche, and sure. I think every business needs that specific niche that's going to be able to, set you apart from everyone else. And that's one thing for me. Like, I always want to set my part. I want to set my clients, my athletes. You need to be different, and so being different is going to make you successful. I like deviating from the norms. I deviate from the norms every day. Maybe it's not the best thing, but that's the path I take.
That's what makes you unique.
Yeah, and
that's why you are so inspirational, because you set yourself aside from what is standard. Now, in the system that you have created for the kids, tell us more about it. How do you build your specific training for each athlete?
So we have a couple different arms, if you will, that we do. So we have group training classes that will bring the kids in, but on an individual basis, we really focus on the customization of the workout. So for yourself, for instance, you coming in, you're going to find out what is your daily activity. What are you doing? Do you play tennis? Leisurely? Do you go walking? Do you hike? Maybe you don't do anything, but are you sitting at a desk every day? So those are some of the questions that we're going to ask our potential clients, and then from there we build the program. I'm very functional. Everything is functional. I don't care how much you can lift. And even for our pro athletes, like, it really doesn't matter. It's like, it's not important. The functionality and you being able to control your body. And believe me, like 20 years ago when I started, like, all I wanted to do is see, athletes like puke into a garbage can. You know what I mean? It's just like, that was the reward. Like, yeah, man, we worked out hard. But in hindsight, it's really not. Like, again, what did they really get out of it? Yeah, they got a good workout. Yeah, we're building camaraderie and stuff. But at the same time, like, the functionality is more important. The functionality is going to allow you to, that longevity as an athlete, that longevity as a non-athlete, keeping your core strong, making sure you're in balance with your body. So those are the things I care about. The more balanced you are as an athlete, the more balanced you are as a non-athlete, the better you're going to function in daily life. You're
so
going to
you're
feel much
focusing
better.
more on wellness.
Yeah, the wellness side of it.
Overall composition of being in good shape.
Right. So I think with that, the composition will come. You know what I'm saying? So we're obviously creating our workout programs. Obviously, we want to get strong. We're having them do Olympic lifts, our athletes, but they're not doing the Olympic lifts until we know they can do them and their form is, pristine. It's got to be perfect. So a lot of it with our young athletes, the way we build a program, to get back to what you were asking, we'll have PVC pipes that weigh nothing, and we'll have them do the young athlete do squats with the bar on their back. Now we're preparing them, we're working their muscle memory. We'll have them do Olympic lifts with the PVC pipe. It's not harming them. Again, we're working their muscle memory. So now when they're when they're able to do this, and when they come to high school, they have that muscle memory. They've done a hang clean. They already know how to do it. But we teach in a safe, effective manner. Like, we're not there to injure people. If you're in the tub, you can't make the club, pretty much, right? So it's just, those are our philosophies that we've grown to develop over the years. So, and again, your philosophies have to continue to change. You have to continue to evolve. So I feel over the 20 years we've evolved, and we'll keep evolving.
I was going to ask you that from the moment you started until what you're doing now, what are the biggest changes that you've seen?
See it in the industry, or just with my own business?
In your business.
Again, the change of philosophy as far as training, how we're training our athletes. It's more, we're more in tune with the individual. If we are doing group training classes and an individual comes in and needs has special circumstances where they're coming off a torn labrum, I don't know, hypothetically speaking. So we're going to obviously, tend to that individual and give them the specific, needs that they want. So we like, and again, I think our success has come from the actual, the individualization and the customization and the personalization, if you will, with our clients.
Sure.
And we've been very fortunate where we do have a longevity of our clients. They stick with us. Ron Hainsey's been with us for 19 years. I've seen his whole NHL career. Nick Bonino has been with us for 16 years, and his senior year in high school at Farmington High School, he signed up with us, and we've seen his whole career. This guy, we've seen win a state championship. We've seen him win 2 national college championships. I've seen him win a prep school championship, and I've seen him win 2 Stanley Cup championships.
So the results are tangible.
Well, yeah, but he's also got to put the work in. But it's a great ride for me to see, the success and be a part of that.
Yeah. In your young athletes, what would you say? Is there any trend as to what are their biggest challenges when they come to you?
So I think like a young athlete, we get like a 10-year-old say and everyone always said, today actually someone asked my son's 8. My kid's been working out since they were 2 years old. And again, it's just about the body balance. We're not putting them under a bench. We're not throwing weights at them. But the biggest challenge, I think, really is, and it's actually a fun challenge because we have a clean slate. And a 10-year-old athlete comes in, and now we're breaking their running gait down. We're physically teaching that athlete how to run, and it's kind of cool because they don't know. Like, nobody ever taught me how to run. Like, I think if I played Little League or basketball, they're like, all right, Pete, run up and down the court, or go to second base. So, but no one's telling you like the proper, dynamic of running. Like, get your knees up and out through stride. Make sure you're on your toes. Make sure So we take a lot of time with developing, breaking down the running gait, teaching, the kids the proper mechanics through drills. Ladder drills, and again the balance and the coordination. But it's just, keeping them motivated. And a lot of times the kids like it. They like the discipline.
And they feel part of a community also,
Exactly.
I would assume.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. The whole community aspect of it is very important for us, that we want to create a family. Like, if anyone walks in the gym, like, everybody's got to know everyone.
And that's what makes you really unique. And I know that, how do you work yourself to be motivated? How do you achieve that?
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it does. Like, I want to crawl into a hole sometimes, just like everybody else. You always got to put that face on and be like, hey, yeah, let's go, let's do this. But there's times like, obviously, it takes a lot. I'm up at 4:00 every morning, and I got to do my thing. And people are like, oh, how do you do that? And you work till 8, 9 o'clock at night. But this is the life I chose. So it's the motivation for me to get up in the morning is knowing that I'm going to help somebody out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that I'm going to help that client that's coming in to see me at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, if they can get up, then why can't I get up? And if, my 65-year-old client's going to show up at 6:30 tomorrow morning and bust his butt in there, then I better be there pushing him along. So that's my motivation to see results. Like, it's almost like a drug, if you will, you know what I mean? But it's that good passion where, like, again, I'm going to see results. I want to see results around you.
And you love what you do.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and the motivation that you carry, it just spreads into all the athletes that you train.
Yeah, that's
Now, is there anything in your childhood or anything on your past experiences that really is the key for you being so motivated and so focused in helping others?
So it's a good question, actually. Like, I was a fat kid, right?
You were?
Yeah, I was a fat kid. So
I can't imagine
I weigh about
that.
180 pounds, and I was 185 pounds in 6th grade. So going into my middle school, 7th grade, I said, that's it. I'm doing something. I would run. I had my best friend. He lived about a half mile. I would run to his house every day, and if he wasn't home or he couldn't play, I'd run home. So I'd try and run a mile every day. So I started that, and we had a big hill. I started doing things. I ended up losing all kinds of weight. I got myself in shape. I started lifting weights, but I was always playing sports. I was always doing stuff. And then, like, I always say, like, I was the fat kid because I ate like 4 lunches because my grandmother is an Armenian. She was cooking Armenian food, so you would get in trouble if you didn't eat. So, like, you got to eat, and then my mom's cooking food, and then I'm eating food over here. My dad's coming home from work, so now I got to eat lunch with him, and everyone's yelling, you know what I mean? So you grow up in that ethnic household, but the food's awesome. But, at the same time, again, it was just it was something, a light bulb that went off in my head, and I was just like, you know what, enough is enough. And, there's always that bullying side of things, like people always say, and that really bothered me. And that motivation still sticks with me today. Like, you were that, just keep moving. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, but that's not the life I want. That's not the life I chose. So, it doesn't happen overnight. And I tell our clients that, like, dude, this is not going to happen overnight. This is,
sure.
This is life. It's life.
It's a discipline. It's a way of life.
Yeah, and, I see all these people always ask, like, what diets should you go on? I want to go on a diet. Like, don't diet. Don't go on a diet. Eat healthy. Cut out, if you're drinking 5 sodas a day, like, drop down to 1 maybe. Let's cut it back a little bit. Just find different calories, different ways to cut calories, and you're going to see a huge difference. I told the individual to cut Diet Coke. They were pounding like a 6-pack of Diet Coke a day. They cut that out in a month. They lost like 12 pounds. You know what I mean? So it's just, and you shouldn't be drinking soda. Like, you want to treat yourself, obviously. Sure. There's always those cheat days, and so we always have those. But that was, to get back to the question, that was my biggest motivation to, like, and I saw some of my buddies and some of my peers were, moving forward, and they were becoming better athletes, and I'm just, and again, that was my push. I wasn't always the best athlete, and that was my push too. Like, screw this, man. I want to be up there. I want to be a top 5 guy over here. So,
sure.
So those are things, and that passion trickles now, and that's how I'm coaching, and it just comes like.
And you connect with the kids.
Yeah, I feel as though, like, everything has come full circle for me, like, in my life. Like, there's obviously reasons why we do things, and why I did things 20 years ago, and now I'm realizing it 20 years later that, like, all right, well, that set me up for this, and I would do a lot of things for free, and just training groups, going and doing things, but that comes full circle because now just from the business side of things, that's how we. People, obviously we have a living, but, like, again, my main focus, and I'm running a business, I have kids, I have to provide for myself and put a roof over our head, but I don't want to get rich off a client. I want to help a client. Yes. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest passion and focus, yes.
And your drive. And going back, because it's a very interesting topic, we're dealing nowadays, kids being bullied at school, and it's a very complex situation that we are facing on a daily basis when we hear different stories.
Sure.
Now, in your opinion, as a personal trainer, how do you think that, or can you tell us how fitness for kids really helps them face situations of bullying? Well,
I think, definitely it's unacceptable for sure. The fact that, like, kids are getting bullied, I think kids will get bullied forever. Like, it's very difficult to kind of stop that, but one thing that we pride ourselves on is developing confidence with our athletes. And if you're coming in, and again, like, so a young athlete will come in with their parents, we'll sit down, and the first thing I say is that you are special because you're doing something, whether you're, you know, getting bullied or not getting bullied, but you're doing something that your opponent isn't doing, your peer isn't doing. You've taken a step to come in and see me and just meet with me and find out about my program. So you're already getting it. So it's just a lot, we're pumping kids up. Like you're in there, you're in there, you're part of our family. And like I mentioned before, like if you're in there, that's my house. Like I want to know every single person that's in my gym. And if you're working out with me, I want you to know every single person in there because I want you to feel comfortable. So, and we'll put kids together and, you know, it's about, you know, again, the confidence and people feeling comfortable. And I think we develop that and we make that a part, and that carries out, that goes out into the gym. And, you know, we have parents like coming up to us like, oh my God, like, you know, he never talked at home. Now he's talking. He's got his shirt off. He's like flexing and stuff. You know, it's awesome. I love hearing that stuff. Like, good for you, man. It's great. Yeah, you're working hard. You should reward yourself. So those are good things, you know, that I, you know, kind of.
So what would you say is the most rewarding experience that you've had with any of your customers?
I think like everything's a reward. Like just being able to say I've been in business this long is a very generous reward. Like a lot of businesses don't last that long. You know, the reward is like the people I've met, like, you know, met you and Dave, and I met, you know what I mean? I'm here right now. This is a reward. And like just being able to do what I do every day and waking up and going into the gym and helping people, that's a reward. But, you know, if you want one thing, I would say like just being a part of like the, you know, my two athletes that won a Stanley Cup, you know, for me, that was just, it was awesome. It was very cool, and the way they made me feel a part of, you know, their celebration and going to the cup parties and the experiences I saw. And it was me, Hainsey, in the Stanley Cup driving in his Bentley to a showing. And it's just like, dude, is this for real right now? And it's awesome. And those things, and, you know, I'm saying to myself, like, all right, man, like, we worked for this. This is, and those guys make me feel a part of it. Like, dude, this is yours too, man. This is all part of it. Like this. So those are rewards, and, you know, again, just being here, being able to wake up every single day is a reward for me. So
sure.
You know.
And I want to dig in a little bit more into what keeps you motivated.
Yeah, you're going back to that now, right?
Other than the feeling of accomplishment that you get from what you do, is there anything else in your personal life? Because, you know, the instances that I've had the chance to see what you do, and I've gone to the gym and see how you work with the kids, it's like a nonstop energy. Like right now you are like peaceful as I've seen you. You know, I see you always very vivacious and very, you know, pumping everyone, but you must have a sort of energy, I don't know, like a battery, something that you do personally that allows you to keep that mindset throughout your career.
So I think, like, again, this is my job. You know, in any job you're going to show up to, you got to do it. If like, you're going to go and do something, you got to go and do it. Like, you can do it half-assed, you can do it 100%. And like my father always raised me, my grandfather raised me to say, you know, if you're going to do something, you put your mind to it and you do it 100% or don't do it at all. So that's how I raised my kids. That's how I kind of like put that. But like the motivation really is like my family, my kids. You know, I got to put food on the table for them, and I want my son and my daughter to see me successful and see me with passion and energy. And when I was coaching, I would make a point to bring them to my games, my basketball games. And, you know, like you saw in the intro, my daughter, you know, is in there, and Tyson. But, dude, my daughter is 8 years old, and she's the most confident 8-year-old. She's more confident than some adults. You know, she doesn't care, like in a good way, you know, and I want them to see my passion. I want that released on them. And I want, you know, at a young age, if I can teach not just my children, but anyone for that matter, to do that. So again, those are my motivations. You know, again, just I did it to myself where like I'm on stage and people are coming to me. So if you come to me and I'm a dud, you're not going to come back to me. So it's not that I'm putting a show on or just putting a face on. This is what I do, and this is how my business operates, and this is how I run my business. And my trainers are the same way, and that's the difficult part. Like, you know, people want me, but like also at the same time, we have a great training staff that mimics me and can also do a great job.
As a role model, what would you like people to remember you for?
I'm a role model now, Marisol.
You are.
No,
you are.
I know. But, you know, just being that person with intensity. You know, I always like preach intensity is the disposition to dominate. I want to dominate any situation I get myself involved in. I'm dominating this interview. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You sure?
No, but I'm kidding. No, but you know, it's just again, just it goes back to, being able, I want to be known like, hey, Pete was that guy that, did everything, that he put his mind to. And, I like helping people. I want to be known like, like that I help people. And, but, just being that role model where like people can identify, with Pete Asadourian and like, hey, Pete helped me here. And
they already do.
But
so you already have that part covered.
Yeah, but, it's great that, and I know people like, tend to look up to us and, me, but it's a good feeling. And it's that feeling of you can't let anyone down almost, where it's like, I have to hold myself up a little bit higher than, and I have to watch what I do and, make sure that like, I'm doing a good job. I'm leading the life that I'm preaching. Because if I don't lead the life that I'm preaching, then what good is it? Then I'm a fraud, pretty much. So again, those are the things that, as a role model, and I want to be remembered as, and I think if that answers it.
You did. As part of your journey, I know you have in mind writing a book.
Yep.
So what can we expect from?
So it's a process. It's been a long process. I started, a few years back. I just started writing. I just came up with this. I want to write and document everything that's happened to me through my coaching career, through my fitness, through my business, and really how I'm forming the book is just kind of like short stories, and and hopefully they're meaningful stories, and hopefully I can, I'm trying to pull motivation into it. I'm trying to pull, really like deep. It's funny. Like I go every time I go on vacation, I try and travel a lot. My laptop's with me, and I'm writing. I'm putting things in because that's my time where I can do it because there's so many other distractions. And like, dude, I'll sit there and I'll be on an airplane and I'll be like. Start crying just because of the passion, like I'm just like, oh Jesus. But it's for me to do that, even if I want it to get published, of course I do, but even if it doesn't, it's me and it's
your journey.
It's my exactly.
It's your journey, and you're putting also your personal life into perspective, and I'm pretty sure it's taking you to places where maybe ideas are coming in as to things that you can do to continue motivating.
Yeah, definitely. So and again, like David's one that really pushed me to start writing, to be honest with you, and write down your thoughts and everything, and that's really that's where it's at. It's, I think if I can put it down on paper and. If maybe my kids will read it one day or something to kind of really see what Dad's all about and what Dad went through and stuff. So not that I went through anything bad, but like, again, just the journey, if you will, of why I'm here right now. So, and that's kind of what the book is going to be about.
And what else you have in line?
I don't know. I got my head goes all over the place, Marisol, so I got a lot of ideas, but
Well, you sure have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So.
I just think, there's definitely going to be something else. Whether we stay in fitness, I think I'll always stay in fitness for sure. But there's going to be a different avenue. I'm 44 years old. I got the rest of my life ahead of me, and
you're young.
And it's all here.
Yes.
But there's going to be a different avenue. I'll let you know.
Well, Pete, it is a pleasure having you.
For sure. Thank you so much.
I would like to talk about, and we don't have enough time. It's just 30 minutes.
Yeah, right.
But certainly we want to have you back. We want to continue following what you're doing and all the great ideas that you come up with. And we probably want to go and even see one of your trainings and record it and bring it here so people can really have a sense of what is that you're bringing to the table. So where can people find you?
They can find me at about Future Fitness. futurefitnesspro.com. And that's it.
Right. Well, if you want to know more about Pete Asadourian, you are more than welcome to contact C & Son Productions, and we will give you all his information. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.